Uh, BitCoin. Today is the 6th of January, 2021, and anyone who's trading cryptocurrencies who are trading with a broker that is governed within the EU or the UK's FCA, financial regulator, has till today to close their positions. So here's a Bitcoin when it was trading around 10,000. This is the story of Bitcoin. Lots of lovely trading ranges. But then in March last year, in 2020, it went from 10,000 down to, on the 13th of March, it went down to 3,900. Everything got sold off. It was like the rich man's panic of 1903 or 1907. And everything that had value just got sold off to raise cash. That was the height of the pandemic crash, COVID-19 crash. And here on the 16th, I took a chance and I thought this looked like the kind of low that is associated with, this looked like the kind of bar that is associated with a low, a huge move down, and then it closed relatively higher on the bar. So on the following day, the market went lower again, but I saw that some of the indices like the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, it felt as if they were beginning to have reached their lows. So I bought some Bitcoin, and I thought about 3 days later, Bitcoin rallied about 3,000 points, and at that point I was up 2,000 points. I'm thinking, well, if I put a stop loss here at 5,260, then I am, more or less break even. I would have made 400 points in Bitcoin. And I thought, okay, we'll see what happens. And I didn't think much of it during March. It just sort of stabilized. April, it was just hovering around the 6,000-7,000 range, and then it really took off towards the end of April. And then we had a long sideways trading range, and it took off once again. And even though it came back, and quite dramatically so, from 12,000 to 10,000, it reminded me very much about the gold market, the gold bull market during the 2000s to 2010. You saw some tremendous moves higher and then followed by some enormous spikes lower, but it was always higher lows. And then it really began to take off. This is where we are now, 35,220. So this is the point where I have got 30 Bitcoins and I am going to sell them now. Well, that's it. Bye bye Bitcoin. You'll probably go higher, but I can't trade it anymore here. Good evening. 6th of January 2021. Bit an odd day. We're still in lockdown, and the normal routine has been disrupted, but it was nevertheless an interesting day. So here's a quick run through of what I did today. I had to close my Bitcoin trade from earlier last year, and I think it was March last year. I'll show that in a separate video unless I somehow can manage to cut those two together. Today's trade, quite interesting, because I'm about to be proven massively wrong. Normally, I would say that a bar like this is a breakout bar, and when the bottom of a breakout bar gets violated, then I need to be short. That will work 6 times out of 10. But today, it didn't. Here's the larger time frame where you see the full day. I went short here and I got stopped out here. And then thank God I was wise enough to get long here and stupid enough to go out here. This is why I say you gotta learn to run your profits, and I am very good at running my profits. However, I don't know what possessed me to take my profits here. It's a full-blown bull bar. Why on earth would I get out? I had absolutely no reason to. So, in my Telegram group, I talk about this over and over. What has the biggest emotional impact on you? Having a profitable position, moving the stop loss to break even, and then get stopped out for nothing? Or taking a profit early, only to see the market zoom in your direction? To me, it's the latter. And today, as you will see in a second, I got presented with both. So yeah, I made more on the second trade than I lost on the third trade. So all things being equal, I should be happy, but I'm not. I am very annoyed with myself because I broke my own rules. And yeah, rules get broken every now and then. It's just the inevitability of being a human being. But we're traders, and if we're not honest with ourselves, we'll never make any progress. So take a look at the next trade. DAX. Rather than deciding that this is a double top, and yeah, it's a valid double top sell, but I ignored that, and rather I was waiting for the first H2, and I'll explain that in another video what a H2 is. But essentially, what you're seeing here is the market goes above the prior top. I know it doesn't close above it, but I paid quite a lot of attention to the fact that this bar here went below the low of the prior bar and then closed above it. And in an uptrend, that suggests to me that there's limit buyers around. Limit buyers are the ones that will put an order to buy underneath a prior bar. So this is almost the reverse of what I did yesterday in the DAX, where the first positive bar in a downtrend was the one I bought, and here I basically buy the first negative bar in an uptrend. Fine, good trade, market goes in my favor slowly, and then the US markets open around here, and then, almost like clockwork, annoyingly, we just need to take the market down before we take it up, and I got stopped out right there. And you may ask, well, why didn't I just go in there? Because I was out buying groceries, because lockdown, and we have to queue up a million miles with everyone else and wear masks and sanitizer gel and you name it, you gotta feed the family and all this. So I missed it. Otherwise I would have been on this like white on rice, but I wasn't. And so I came back and I saw it here. Hadn't seen this yet. I thought, oh, this is good. And then I looked at my position monitor and I got stopped out. No, I didn't lose anything, and in that respect I followed my game plan. But I would have loved to have been on board this, because it was a big position that I had. There you go. It happens. But as I wrote, there's always tomorrow. I think this is the last slide. It is. Good night. God bless.